Good evening. There's a lovely sunset going on. Can you see that over there? Lovely bit of business. Hello there. I'm here to talk about a film in a car park, because that's what I do. I've been to see Beetlejuice Beetlejuice this evening, and it was a lot of fun. It was very silly, but I kind of didn't mind that. So, I mean, this is set however many years after the original. About 30, is that what we're saying? When was the original out? I've got a feeling it was like 88, 89. I don't think it was 90s. So we are catching up with Winona Ryder's Lydia Deetz. She is now hosting a TV show where she talks to the dead, and she has a boyfriend played by Justin Theroux. His name is Rory. She has a daughter, Astrid, played by the wonderful Jenna Ortega. And mother and daughter don't get along particularly well. Astrid's dad died many years ago. She's not keen on Rory and just generally hates her mum the way that teenage girls do. And the film starts with the death of Charles Deetz, Lydia's dad. And it is Charles's death that brings them all back to Winter River. Here's a thing that I bumped on. I don't ever remember the town being referred to as Winter River in the original film. Now, admittedly, I haven't seen the original film for a lot of years, but I did see it a lot when I was younger, because I really loved the original film. I think it's great. I don't ever remember them talking about it being called Winter River. I'm sure they did, but they mentioned it several times in this one. I'm like, was I supposed to remember that? So yes, Charles dies. They all come back to Winter River to clear out the house, and that is where the majority of the story takes place. There's quite a lot going on. There's a plot about a soul-sucking demon who Beetlejuice married when he was alive, played by Monica Bellucci. So she's out looking for him. Astrid meets a boy in Winter River. Rory and Lydia are perhaps going to get married, but he's a slimy dirtbag, and everybody seems to be able to see it except Lydia. And Delia, played by the exquisite Catherine O'Hara, is just nuttier than ever with her art. And it was really fun to spend time with those characters. I mean, admittedly, the only characters from the original film are Lydia, Delia and Beetlejuice, and then everybody else is new, but they all sort of slotted in beautifully. Jenna Ortega is obviously like a really big name, new talent. She starred in, she's been in several things, but she has played Wednesday in the Netflix series, and there isn't a more perfect person to play Winona Ryder's daughter in this. When you see the two women together, it's like it's such a believable mother and daughter. And there are a couple of times when you see the young Lydia, you see a picture on like Beetlejuice's desk in the afterlife of Winona Ryder from back then, and they really do have the same sort of spirit, that awkward, slightly alternative goth girl thing. And I think you get from the character of Astrid that she doesn't actually like that she has anything in common with her mother, and she thinks the whole business about being able to see ghosts is rubbish. So you've got quite a believable, real mother-daughter conflict. You've got the stepmother-stepdaughter relationship between Delia and Lydia, which obviously was very prominent in the original film. And I liked the fact that the main characters in the film were three women. You had these three generations of actresses, from Catherine O'Hara, Winona Ryder, and then Jenna Ortega. And they just played mother, daughter, stepdaughter, stepmother beautifully. And it was joyous to watch the three of them together. I could have handled more Catherine O'Hara nuttiness, because she is just one of my favourite actors ever. In recent years has obviously found a whole new audience playing Moira Rose in Schitt's Creek, and yeah, I just love the woman. Like, but it's not that she's just playing nutty for the sake of it. You know, she's playing Delia Dietz again. She's playing that character. It isn't just, you know, another sort of spin on Moira, for example. This is a completely different character, and she's just brilliant. She looks amazing as well. I've totally craving like bright red hair after watching her and thinking, when I grow up I want to be Catherine O'Hara. So she's fabulous. Winona Ryder's great. I'll be honest, I've never been her biggest fan, even when she was like huge back in the late 80s and the 90s, and obviously she did quite a bit with Tim Burton, and I've never been a huge fan of hers, but then obviously came back to prominence in Stranger Things, playing Joyce, and actually kind of slowly grew on me, and I like that she had this career resurgence by tapping into, you know, the 80s vibe, like when she was at her most famous at the very end of the 80s and going into the 90s, from Beetlejuice onwards, Edward Scissorhands, stuff like that, like I say, working with Tim Burton. And then it was by going back to the 80s and Stranger Things that she kind of got her career back. And yeah, so it's great to see her playing Lydia again. It was a lot of fun. It is really silly. Like I said, you've got Monica Bellucci's stapled together wronged bride, soul-sucking demon looking for Beetlejuice. You've got Willem Dafoe as a dead actor who played a cop, who thinks he's a cop and has to keep being reminded that he is in fact an actor and not a cop. He's having a great time at the minute. Like, he's got to be mid-70s. He's getting up. Michael Keaton's in his 70s. When I've even talked about Michael Keaton, I love Michael Keaton. Oh my God, Michael Keaton, man. I love him as Beetlejuice. He's clearly having so much fun. But yeah, him and Willem Dafoe are both in their 70s, and it's an absolute romp. They're having a grand old time. Obviously Willem Dafoe's had again this not second wind of a career, but like getting, you know, to make really interesting films again. He was in Poor Things alongside Emma Stone, and yeah, it's just great to see these iconic actors just still having stuff to do, still having fun, still, you know, being offered completely out there stuff. So yeah, it's really silly and over the top and quite cartoony in places. I like the way they used animation sometimes and animatronics and stuff. Like, it's really over the top and really Tim Burton. And actually, in recent years, that's something I've kind of gone off. I kind of got sick of that Tim Burton thing. But in this instance, because it's going back to an era of Tim Burton that I really enjoyed, I've really enjoyed it. Like, it's totally throwaway, but it's fun. And I was rooting for Lydia to rescue Astrid and for all the various relationships, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's not a patch on the original, don't get me wrong. I think the original is a classic of its time, but it was a lot of fun to spend time with these characters again and to see it in a modern setting and just switch my brain off and watch the nonsense unfold. No musical sequence that compares with the Harry Belafonte Banana Boat song sequence from the original, but they did try. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. There's some interesting cameos, people popping up here and there. Just absolute nonsense. But great fun. Can't complain. No complaints here. Thumbs up for Beetlejuice. But please don't make a third one, because that would be silly. Okay, I'm done. Thanks for listening. Katie out.